יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנהים, שבטחים גם 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 יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה, כן, לא נרצים, הנה מה טוב ומנהים, שבטחים גם יחד. It's beautiful. I passed the audition.
Rabbis, Cantor Meisner, fellow congregants, staff, Chevra, on behalf of Renewal, I am simply thrilled to welcome all of you, all of us, here today. The extraordinarily generous congregants who made this wonderful and meaningful moment happen. I want to acknowledge 3 key members of the Steering Committee for Renewal. Carrie Solomon, Chair of the Building Committee. Carrie? David Rosenberg, Chair of Communications. And Tom Friedland, Chair of the Steering Committee. Thank you. Mark Anshin, Rabbi Splansky, Ron Polster, and I also sit on that committee. And Johnny Ain, Director of Capital Fundraising, I am shouting out now, and Deanne Levy, Director of Communications. All of the people who I have just named and so many others brought us to this moment. Thank you. I know we are all delighted by our new and restored building. And now, we, the congregation, and particularly those in this room, share great excitement about a giant step forward for Renewal fundraising. So many congregants generously supported Five to Finish. We shared a very special congregational moment together, and together we have raised almost $2 million since Kol Nidre. Significantly less than $100,000 to go to reach $2 million. So if I'm not having an auction now, it's on the Shabbat. You won't yet see that generosity acknowledged on our donor signage. We are in the midst of finalizing the very large number of updates needed to honor all of this generosity. You all know, I hope, that we are honored by our community for this extraordinary achievement. It is truly a project of all of us. What does this achievement represent? How was Holy Blossom moved to do this? And of course, we aren't yet quite done. More donors are stepping up day by day. $200,000 since December the 20th, and matching funds are still available. But what did it? Turning the page now. The donors to this program included new donors, many of them. Some are here, and we thank you. We also include existing donors who gave again, and sometimes again and again, and we thank you too, but why did we do it? My best guess is, first of all, that people were motivated by appreciation of this wonderful building and what it enables our congregation to do. We love it. There is more, however, that helps explain the last 3 months. Donors were often engaged and inspired by a congregational volunteer who called on behalf of Renewal. We owe profound thanks to the volunteers, and some are here tonight, who reached out to their friends and asked and raised thousands of dollars. Donors were also moved to action by the extraordinary generosity of 4 Temple families who together donated $600,000 of matching funds. They haven't been named until today. Now I'm going to do it. I want to honor them: Susan Jackson and Larry Rosen, Judy and Jack Winberg, Carol Albert Firestone and Michael Firestone, and my beloved and generous husband, David Baskin. I know, as does anyone who canvassed, that this matching fund made an enormous contribution to our success. We are so lucky. Finally, most powerfully, what made it work? $2 million is a huge amount of money. Why did we donate it? I think we donated, my heart tells me we donated because we love our congregation. Renewal generosity became the expression of our love for Holy Blossom Temple. In this, as in so many other ways, in this we are so lucky, and we have so many thanks to give. Thank you all for your support.
And we would not be here were it not for the devotion and leadership of Joan Garson. Thank you, Joan. We can't say it enough. So I hope everyone has a little page here that you can refer to and share with your neighbor. We just sang Hine Matov U'Manayim, words that you've known since nursery school probably. And you might not know that it comes from the Psalms, and that it's introduced by the words Shir HaMa'alot. It's one of the 16 songs of ascents that in Jerusalem, the Levites, the music makers in the ancient temple of Jerusalem, would sing these songs of ascending as they ascended the steps towards the temple, on the Temple Mount of Yerushalayim. Another one of those psalms of ascent, the going up songs, includes this verse: unless the eternal God builds the house, its builders labor in vain. I just returned from Jerusalem, a week of study in Jerusalem. I got back last night. And this verse has been rolling around in my mind while I was there. According to legend, when the temple was destroyed, the stones of the Beit HaMikdash were flung to the far reaches of the diaspora. And wherever a stone of the Holy Temple landed, there one day a synagogue would be built. And so somehow, a stone must have landed here at 1950 Bathurst Street. And we are making good on that potential, right? When that stone landed, according to rabbinic imagination, this plot of land was somehow destined to become the home to a synagogue. And we are making good on that promise and that potential. So let us offer up this prayer together towards the bottom of the front page there. Do you see where it says together? Let's offer up this prayer for this congregation. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. As beautiful as this sacred space is, even more beautiful is that we are building it together. You know that on most mezuzot there's a shin, the Hebrew letter shin, or maybe the word Shaddai, which our rabbis teach is certainly a name for God, meaning Almighty. But they say it also stands for, it's an acronym, that stands for Shomer Delatot Yisrael, the one who is guarding the doorways of the people of Israel. So we have a mezuzah here, we have a doorpost here, and we have this beautiful case designed by the local and esteemed artist Sorel Etrog. And it will contain the klaf, the parchment, on which it is written by hand, by a sofer, the words we know by heart. But they're here for you just if you'd like to reference them. The declaration of our faith, followed by the Ve'ahavta. So let's sing together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננת בבניך ודיברת הפעם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד ידיך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
So one of the 613 mitzvot in the Torah is this, that you should affix a sign on the doorposts of your houses, so that as you enter and as you leave, you will be mindful of the mitzvot. You will be reminded of what it is to pursue a life of Torah and mitzvot. So let's read together. You shall love the eternal your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and remember as a symbol between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your ears. So the bracha, the blessing for affixing a mezuzah, starts like all the rest and ends with the two words, likboa mezuzah. So we're going to say the blessing together, and then with coats on, we're going to just spend a moment, but an important moment, outside to dedicate this doorway. Together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likboa mezuzot.